Greetings, fellow philosophers, and welcome to Values in School and Society, ED 779. My name is Gary Grumens, and I'm the Dean here of the School of Education at Fresno Pacific University. When you open up the syllabus, you will see the course objectives written there, and I'm not going to go over each one of them one by one, but I wanted to go ahead and draw your attention to at least one of them. The first objective says that we, through this course, would like to help you construct or refine your own philosophy of education. And what that means is that we want to help you to make a decision about what it is that you think is really important about education. And in order to be able to do that, as you can see from the other objectives, we are going to draw from a number of different sources. We are going to draw from historical writings that go all the way back to the time of Plato and Aristotle, all the way through to contemporary writings. We're going to draw from scriptures and the best thinking about education that we can from people who think about it from a Christian perspective. And from all of that, we want to help you then to develop your own philosophy, so that what you will be able to do is to come away from this class with what we call an informed philosophy of education that truly can become the guiding light for your entire educational career. And what we mean by that is we want to help you clarify for yourself the kinds of things that you think are important about education. And then also to show you the way that individuals have wrestled with very similar kinds of ideas over the course of the last 2,500 years. Oftentimes when students take this class, they're surprised to see how the kinds of things that are important today were things that were important way back 2,500 years ago. And the kinds of things that people are wrestling with today are things that people were wrestling with millennia. So in the course of doing all this, we're going to answer four very important questions. First one is, what is human nature? What are people like at the very heart of hearts, in their heart? What is they like? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they evil? Are they nice? And that's an important decision for us to make when we work with individuals, is what can we expect from them at the most basic and fundamental levels? What are human aspirations? What are people after in life? What are their goals? Why do they wake up in the morning? Why do they engage in the activities that they do? What gets in the way of individuals achieving those objectives? Why is it that some people fall so far short of the things to which they aspire? And then finally, what role does education play in helping people achieve those aspirations? And so as I mentioned before, we were going to take a look at these questions from a historical perspective. And I'll say this a number of times, I'll say it again here. I think you will really be surprised at the similarity of concerns of individuals from the last 2,500 years and what they've thought about education and what they've prescribed that education should be like. Oftentimes what happens as people are wrestling with these things, they begin to coalesce into different camps. And sometimes those camps will seem like they are at odds with each other. So one group of people might think looks like it's opposed to what other people might think, and we call these either contradictions or sometimes call them paradoxes. And what we wouldn't want to do is figure out how to resolve those paradoxes. If both things seemingly could be true, how do we put some things together? And we'll talk about that a lot more as we begin through the course. So the nuts and bolts of the course, the kinds of things we'll be taking a look at. Well, as I mentioned before, we're going to be taking a look at people who've thought about these things for a long time, and we're going to read primary sources. We're going to go back and read Plato and Aristotle, and don't be worried. We're going to have guides that will help us read through these documents, and the readings won't be that extensive, and it will take you some time, no doubt, but I think you'll be surprised at how accessible these ideas are and how similar they are to the kinds of things that we think about today and the struggles that we have. So through all that, we're going to attempt to gain an understanding of the important challenges in education. If individuals who are writing about education are wrestling about the same things over the centuries, well, then maybe those are the kinds of things that are truly important for us in this generation to think through again. And so in doing that, what we want to do is take all this information and develop categories in which to think. It's too much to try and keep in mind what everybody thinks about education. So what we will try to do is distill these major ideas into a few major categories. And then as you work through these categories, then you can figure out for yourself what you believe, and not only come to conclusions, but have those conclusions grounded in a thorough examination of what people thought about when they think about similar. The most important project in this class is the personal philosophy paper. And we'll talk a lot more about it when we get close to the end of the class and give you some instructions about how to write that. But this project is designed to help you integrate everything that you read over the course of the semester and bring it into a clear, coherent philosophy of education that really will help guide you through the course of your own educational career. And so what you'll be doing is then looking at these writers from a contemporary perspective and seeing what they can contribute to our current understanding of education, the kinds of things that are important, and the kinds of things that we should be drawing attention to as important parts of our educational philosophy. And then, as I said before, the idea is that this grounds you and gives you support as you face the challenges of your educational career. Just again, as far as nuts and bolts go, this is the percentage of your grade and the different elements of the course that are used as the basis for the grade and how they are allotted percentage-wise into the final grade. The personal philosophy paper, obviously, for us is the most important part of the class, and so it also is the greatest weight. Every week you'll be doing a personal reflection and also responding to other of your classmates' reflection. So that is the next most important part of the class. And then finally, the different Moodle activities, the learning activities you might call them, which make up 20% of the grade. So that is a brief introduction to the course. I try to keep close to my email, so if you have any questions about the course, feel free to email me.